Well, Mr. Tulsan, just hold on. I think we are getting the Marico numbers, and that's much awaited. Net profit has come in exactly in line with expectations. We'll have to actually check for the volume after Dabur set the bar so high. Okay, the revenues come a little better than expected, slightly, maybe about 40-50 crores better than expected. 1984 was the expectation. But the revenue is compared to 1681. So we were expecting an 18% rise. It has come in closer to a 20% rise. So 1681 has become 2027. That's almost 20% in terms of a rise. The profit was 235 crore. That's come in at 260. That's about 10% rise in profit. So 10% rise in profit and a 20% rise in revenue. So clearly given away a little bit at the EBITDA level. EBITDA 355 crore. That's largely in line with expectations. So 12% higher. That's the story. 20% up on revenue, 12% up on EBITDA, and about a 10% rise in profit. So clearly margins have given up a little bit, 17.5% in terms of margins. But we will really want to know what they did by way of volumes. Remember, the Q1 of last year was a contraction of volumes for all this GST and other issues. The volumes had contracted for Marico. So at a year-on-year level, they should do, yes. Yeah. So there's mind-boggling Dabur number. And similar growth in volumes of other FMCG companies should be shared by Marico as well in terms of a volume growth.
Margins, though, are a bit puzzling because if you look at the big commodity for Marico, it's copra, and copra prices are down almost 20% from the beginning of this year. And they continue to actually fall. So margins coming in against at least what was expected. I think I saw the margins are a little lower. EBITDA, the absolute number is also down by about 10 crores.
I think
a miss of about 10 crores or so.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to object
margin
to
17.5% compared to a poll of 18.4%.
Copra prices rose in the last quarter. So I think that's what has hurt them.
So Jan to March they were soft, and then it's been slightly.
I think from the beginning this year,
so net it could have been probably lower than what it was December end, but the rise has been more prominent.
Maybe in this quarter.
These last 2-3 months.
Yes, and so have been Cardi prices. Rice bran is important.
And the other challenge which Marico has been facing is the Paras portfolio is not something that has given them those kind of.
1 minute, Prakash. I'll just run through the numbers. Mangalam is waiting by, and he's done the math as well. We should be okay. I thought Mangalam was mic'd up with all the details. We have to look for what the parachute numbers will be. Parachute and Saffola would be the important ones that we will look for. I think he's still browsing through. You were telling us about the Paras portfolio.
So, one of the key growth vectors for Marico has been the new portfolio. And that is why, it was very important for them to leverage that, because that helps them de-risk from this parachute segmental focus that they've always had. They're known as a coconut, oil-based player or coconut product company. Now that is something where those other products could do much better. But somehow in the modern trade, the depth that you would need to see for some of these big brands, which were very big when Paras built them, hasn't kind of rubbed off. So that's where they've always had to sell things at a slightly lower margin. That margin compromise is a consistent issue. It's like what TVS goes through in the auto space.
I think we have Mangalam ready. Mangalam, any further details you can add? We have 20% revenue, 12% EBITDA and 10% on profit.
Right, Lata. So the revenue growth is positive, that is above expectations. The margins have come off on two reasons. One, copra prices had risen year on year, so we have seen some growth there. That means the gross margins, they've declined by about 500 basis points. So that explains the sort of miss that we're seeing as far as the EBITDA is concerned. And optically, the EBITDA margins are also looking lower because the revenue has improved by 20% as against expectations of around 17-18% on the top line. The company has maintained its ad spends, so we need to watch out for whether going ahead they will increase their ad spends or not. That will give you an indication of how margins are likely to be, and the net profit as a result of lower than expected EBITDA has come in lower than expected. But top line growth is a positive for Marico. Remember, the stock trades at around 44 times and was at a record high ahead of the numbers itself. So maybe some bit of profit taking. We are awaiting the press release to come by, and in that there will be the volume growth expectation. So we were working with a number of 10 to 12%. Let's see whether the company has outperformed that or not, especially given the top line growth has come in at 20%.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mangalam, and do alert us as soon as you can lay your hands on the press release. Mr. Tulsian, you went through the big numbers that we read out. What did you make of the Marico performance?
See, Lata, in fact, I've been saying this for maybe last couple of weeks that I'm keeping myself away from these all expensive stocks. Firstly, I don't think that numbers have really cheered because the EBITDA, the margin and the bottom line is very important. And secondly, if you take a maybe 7 rupees 50 paisa as an EPS for the FY18 or FY19, and giving a P multiple of closure to about 47, 48, because the kind of performance which we have been seeing now maybe for last 1 week or so, all the high price stocks, whether it is in the consumption space or in the banking space, or maybe they are all seen correcting because the buying is becoming broad based, and in fact you are seeing the buying coming in other stocks also. So I don't see any reason for the Marico to really one should look to enter into at the current price. As I said, at a P multiple of maybe 46, 47. In fact, that view was held by me for Dabur also, in spite of showing excellent volume growth of 21%. And I've said that maybe keep a calm on Dabur also. So there is no point in taking a positive view on Marico at the current level.
Okay, so Marico 3.25% lower. I mean, yesterday it was Imami. Before that, it was Dabur. Dabur, of course, by far out of the ones which have reported stellar numbers. 21% volume growth for Dabur. Marico, as Mangalam pointed out, will get you the numbers in a bit. As the stock is selling off, 4.33% higher. The life high is about 370 or so. So, I mean, it's not very far. 375 actually. 351. So it's 20 odd rupees away from the life high, and 40 times earnings plus. So little room for comfort.